YouTube, I'm Crystal of crystalsewsandstuff.com. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm here to share with you another 2 pieces that I made for the Sew Maxi for Mother's Day challenge. And if you didn't know, the Sew Maxi for Mother's Day challenge is a really fun Instagram sewing challenge that I host with T of Crumpets Tea and Sewing here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. And this is a fun challenge that we created to inspire sewists to create a maxi garment in anticipation of Mother's Day. And this is our 4th year doing the Sew Maxi for Mother's Day challenge, and this year we had a theme of make a statement. So we just asked sewists to create a maxi garment that creates a statement. And so the way I chose to make a statement for these 2 makes was to use this really pretty neon green fabric. And so this fabric is from Joann Fabrics. It's 100% cotton, and it's a little bit lighter than a traditional quilting cotton, but it's not as lightweight as, say, a cotton lawn. So it's a nice weighted fabric, so it holds the pieces together, so it has a nice body to it. So I really like that about this fabric. And so if you haven't tried out Joann's cotton fabrics, go ahead and check them out, and I'll leave a link in the description box to this fabric if I can find this exact color. I bought this about 2 years ago, and so, or yeah, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and I just fell in love with this really pretty green color. And so I thought this would be a great opportunity to go ahead and sew it up for the challenge. So I decided to make a set for the challenge because this year we've added that you can sew statement tops as well as maxi skirts, dresses, and pants. So for this outfit, I decided I wanted to make a top and a skirt, and so that way I could mix and match it and wear it separately or together to get a dress look with it. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. So the pattern that I used for the skirt is this New Look 6762, and this is the skirt right here. And it is a really it's rated as an easy pattern. I sewed up View C, which is the skirt pattern within the pattern envelope, and it is an easy pattern, but there are more pieces than you think with the pattern. So for this pattern, there are a few pattern pieces. That you have your front pattern piece, and that one is cut twice. You have your back pattern piece that's cut twice, and then you have a left front waistband and a right front waistband, as well as a left front tie and a right front tie. And then you also have a casing that holds your elastic. You also have a guide that tells you how wide to cut your elastic depending on your size. And that's it. So not too many pattern pieces, but it was more than I was expecting. But it's still a really easy pattern. The way this pattern is put on, you have to have some buttons, so some front buttons. So you have a button. So you have a button that closes here on the side, and then you cross it over and you put your other button on the other side, and then you tie it in the front. So you tie it in the front like this. So it has a nice big bow on the side, and that was the statement piece that I wanted to use for the pattern. And then it also has some nice pockets here. So it really has some nice pockets, and the directions show you how to go ahead and put the pockets in. They were very clear and it was easy to follow. So I really recommend this pattern. It's great for beginners. Just be aware that you do need to have buttons for the pattern. It's not listed on your notions packet with the pattern, and also the pattern doesn't give you final measurements. So I did go off of my waist measurement in order to make the skirt. So I sewed up a size 18, but I did have to take in a little bit of the elastic at the end to make it fit a little better. And I also moved the front button over just a little bit, just so it could fit me a little bit more snugly on the waist. So this is a really great pattern, great for beginners. The directions were really clear, so I recommend it. The pattern pieces are pretty wide, so just be aware of that. You're going to need a good amount of fabric to make this pattern because the front and back skirt pieces are are pretty wide. I did have like 5.5 yards of this fabric, so I had plenty of fabric for this pattern, and I had 45-inch width fabric, and so I was able to get it out. But some of the pattern pieces I had to cut singularly in order to get things in order to cut it out. So I couldn't cut it out double, like I couldn't fold the fabric over and cut it out. The bigger pattern pieces I did have to cut singularly, so that did take a little bit extra time to go ahead and make this skirt. And I had to take it upstairs and cut it up on the floor instead of my little cutting table, because my cutting table is just a picnic table that I have with some cutting mats on it. But this was too wide to cut out on my cutting table, so I had to take it upstairs and cut it out on the floor. So just be aware of those things. But this is an easy pattern. The only change that I made, like I said, was to take in the elastic a little bit more in the back and move the buttons so they could fit me a little bit more snugly at the waist. And I also shortened the bottom hem by 2 inches because of my height. I'm only 5'1". So anyway, I do highly recommend this pattern. And again, that's New Look 6722. Yeah, again, that's New Look 6722, and that is View C, the skirt version. So the next pattern that I decided to make for this outfit was McCall's 8200. So this is a really cool top pattern. This pattern is a pretty new pattern. It was just released in 2021, I believe last spring. And so this is a really cool pattern, and it has 3 main options. You have View A, which is the crop top flounce top, and then you have View B, which has short sleeves with pleats on the sleeves, and then you have View C, which has just singular straps on the front. So this is a very versatile pattern. I decided to go ahead and combine 2 views. I've combined View A, which are the sleeves, the flounce sleeve, the ruffle sleeves, and so I combined View A with View B that she's wearing, because View B has like this little ruffle, has this gathered overlay in the front, but View C is plain. It doesn't have this gathered look in the bust area. And so, but I like the little gathered look from View B, and so that's what I decided to go with. So I decided to combine Views A and Views B. So I basically just did all of the bottom. I added the bottom pieces to give it a little bit more length. That way I could wear this top with some jeans or a skirt, or like a jean skirt or something like that, when I don't want to wear this larger skirt with it and I want more of a top and bottom look. So I decided to go ahead and just do the longer bodice version in View B, and then omit the sleeves because I really liked the ruffles on View A. So there were several pattern pieces for this top. You have your front overlay here, you have your side fronts right here, you have your flounce pieces, you have a guide for the elastic for the front flounce pieces, you have your lower front, and then you have your lower side front, you have your lower side back, and then you have your back piece, which has shearing in the back. That was one of the key features that I love about this pattern. Another reason I picked this pattern is because the top that comes with this calls for a zipper, and I don't have a matching zipper. And so in order to not have to worry about matching up a zipper to this crop top, I decided to go ahead and use the shearing because I didn't have to worry about matching it, because the elastic is kind of, you know, on the inside. So the pattern was easy to follow, but like I said, there were a lot of pattern pieces for you to deal with. So it took a little bit longer than I expected to make this pattern. So if you do want to make this pattern, you want to go ahead and take your time, because there are a lot of pattern pieces to it, but they aren't difficult. This isn't a difficult pattern to make. It's just a lot of pattern pieces. So I sewed up a size 14 in this pattern based on my body measurements. This pattern doesn't give you final body measurements, so I was a little bit you know, taking a risk with it. But I usually sew up a size 14 for tops, and it worked out for me. So you can use your usual size that you like to sew for tops in the big 4 patterns to make this, or you can just go ahead and measure out the pattern pieces just to double check to make sure it'll fit. Because it wasn't listed on the pattern. All they had was the length of the top, which I just don't see how that's helpful. I guess it's helpful if you want to know how long the crop top is for each version, but usually you really need to know the bust and waist measurement for a top. So I didn't like that about the pattern. So I do advise you to go ahead and measure out your pattern pieces to figure out the fit of it, or at least or you can do a muslin in your usual size. But I think it should fit you if you use your usual big 4 pattern sizing. And if I sewed this pattern again, I would probably try out View C with the straps. I think that is really cute as well, and maybe lengthen it a little bit. It just still comes up a tiny bit short on me even when I'm wearing jeans, so I would just add like an inch or so to the bottom hem. So if you're taller than me or you have a longer torso, I'm 5'1", and I have a shorter torso, so just be aware that it really doesn't come, I mean, it kind of comes down to the upper hip, but not all the way. So I would say you can go ahead and add 1 or 2 inches just to lengthen this pattern a bit if you want it to go a little bit closer to your true hip length. But other than that, this was a really good pattern. It just did take a bit more time than I expected because there are a lot of pattern pieces, and you do need interfacing for the facing area. And several of the pattern pieces are cut twice or 4 times because they use the different pattern pieces, as one part is the outer part, and then the next part, the next set is used as a facing. So just make sure you pay attention to how many pieces you need to cut for each pattern pieces, because several of them are cut more than once. All right, so that is my quick review of McCall's 8200 as well as New Look 6722. The difference I would say between this crop top and View and this one is this one only requires elastic. This one requires, shearing elastic, but this one also requires a zipper in addition to shearing elastic if you wanted to do the crop top. So those are the major differences. And then of course this is a true crop top, and then this one has different length variations. But just so you know, in case you were thinking about picking up either one of these patterns, I think they're both great patterns, but just be aware. I just wanted to make you aware of those things. All right, so those are my reviews of these 2 patterns, and now let me share with you some fun pics and twirls of me wearing this really fun outfit, as well as me wearing this top with just a pair of jeans. Thanks for checking out the Pics and Twirls, and be sure to go ahead and check out T's channel to see her makes for the Sew Maxi for Mother's Day challenge for 2022, as well as the ambassadors for the Sew Maxi for Mother's Day challenge, who are Natita of Sew Natural Dame, Talisha of Creativity by T, Rochelle of Rochelle's Handmade Designs, Andrea of Andrea Makes, Alex of Maison Lifestyle, and Renata of the Twilight Stitcher. So go ahead and check them out, and be sure to follow the hashtag SewMaxi for Mother's Day on Instagram so you can see everyone's fabulous makes. And until next time, take care. Bye.